Hey man, we back with another video, man. We got how good was Larry Bird actually, man. Y'all know how I feel about Larry the legend. He definitely top 5 of all time. Not ever top 5, nigga, he definitely top 3 of all time. You know, I got MJ, I got Magic, then I got Bird. You feel what I'm saying? But Bird really like one of the ones, bro. Like he really like the best all around player of all time, bro. Like really, bro. He can play point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center. Like he can play all the positions, bro. And his defense, like he very versatile, bro. And like he a god on both sides of the court, bro. Like people don't really talk about his defense. Larry got some defense, boy. You see what I'm saying? Like he really versatile on both sides of the court, though. But let's check it out.
Larry Bird was one of the best players to ever touch a basketball.
And his
together
IQ
with Magic
definitely
Johnson,
the best in the
biggest
league,
NBA
bro.
star of the 80s. What made him so successful considering he was quite unathletic? And how would he fare in today's NBA? Did he win just because his teams were...
Yeah, he played like Luka. Like he got like a Luka player build, bro. But I feel like Larry was playing today's time, but he would have...
loaded. And where does he stand among the best shooters of all time? Watch the rest of the video to find out.
Nah, he is the best shooter of all time, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
A hick from French Lick. Bird was born into a poor family in French Lick, Indiana, a town of 2,000 inhabitants. Larry grew up a shy, introverted kid who didn't talk much, and he did most of his talking on the basketball court. He grew up to...
Hey, that beat them. That's usually the good ones, though. Like, people who don't talk that much, they don't really talk. That usually be the ones that be hooping, though. Do your homework on that, boy.
6'9" and played at small forward. But with his understanding of basketball, he could play whatever position he wanted. Larry finished his high school career as the best scorer in school's history, and he could choose where he wanted to go to college. He started playing for Bobby Knight at Indiana University, but didn't like the spotlight and being around so many people. He then settled at Indiana State University, where the pressure was much less than with the Hoosiers. Larry averaged 30.3 points, 13.3 rebounds, and 4.6 assists in college. The Sycamores were invincible in Bird's senior year and became the #1 team in the country with a 33-win streak. Their only loss came in the 1979 NCAA Finals, where they played against Michigan State, led by senior guard Urban Johnson. Despite 19 points from Bird, Magic and his teammates celebrated the title in what was the most-watched college basketball game in history at the time. Bird was named the Collegiate Player of the Year, leaving Indiana State as the 5th-ranked NCAA scorer of all time. He was already drafted, as the Boston Celtics selected him in the NBA draft in 1978, hoping that Bird, who qualified for the NBA as a junior, would skip his senior year. He opted to stay in Indiana, and when he finally arrived in Boston, the Celtics looked nothing like their championship selves, with consecutive losing seasons. Bird then single-handedly caused the biggest turnaround ever seen in the NBA at the time.
Him and Paris are going dumb, boy. I ain't gonna lie. Him and Paris really turned that junk around, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Boston improved their record from the season before by 32 wins and finished with 61 wins and 21 losses. Although his arch-rival Magic Johnson had an impressive season and won the title with the Lakers, Bird was named the Rookie of the Year with the average of 21.3 points, 10.4 rebounds, and 4.5 assists. He also made the All-Star team and first-team All-NBA, and even finished 4th in the MVP voting, and proved he could transform a mediocre team into a great one all by himself. A new green dynasty. After Bird's rookie year, the Celtics had a busy offseason. Legendary Red Auerbach worked his magic and brought 2 new faces to Boston that would form one of the biggest dynasties in NBA history. Auerbach robbed Golden State by sending them the 1st and 13th pick in the 1980 draft in exchange for center Robert Parrish and the 3rd pick, which became...
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete...
Kevin McHale. Along with the newly formed Big Three, the Celtics also had an all-star point guard, Nate "Tiny" Archibald, young and athletic forward Cedric Maxwell, and a few well-integrated role players that made the team complete. The head of the snake was, of course, Larry Bird, who was 2nd in MVP voting, en route to a league-leading 62-20 record. The Celtics avenged the loss to the Sixers from the previous year, and after a tough 7-game series in the Eastern Finals, they were in the NBA Finals once again. There they would be met by the Houston Rockets, led by prime Moses Malone, who was arguably the best center in the league at the time.
I ain't gonna lie, yeah, but Malone like that too. Malone don't really get talked about a lot too. Malone underrated, but Malone was that boy. If you know, you know.
Malone averaged 23 and 16.
That boy hairline crazy though, but that boy nice though.
series, but the Celtics were too good of a team and
my
would win the
God.
title with 4
Foul,
games
God.
to 2. Bird averaged 15 points, 15 rebounds, and 7 assists for the series. But the finals MVP went to Cedric Maxwell, who led the Celtics in scoring with 18 points per game. And when everybody already saw the new Green Dynasty, 2 bad years ensued. Despite Bird's all-around excellence and McHale's improvement, they once again were the #1 seed in the East. Bird was the All-Star Game MVP.
MJ, hey, y'all see that right there?
Improvement. They once again were the #1 seed in the East. Bird was the
Bro, the GOAT right here, bro. Larry good and all, but him right here, he the better overall player. Larry is the better all-around player. Don't get me wrong, though, but we talking about overall talent, MJ. Nobody not messing with MJ, bro.
All-Star
know
Game
that.
MVP, but Philadelphia retaliated for a close defeat in the Eastern Finals. And this time, they won in 7 games. The year after, the Celtics regressed even more, finishing as a 3rd seed and getting swept in the 2nd round by the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah.
After that, coach Bill Fitch resigned and was replaced by Casey Jones, who won 8 titles in the Bill Russell era as a player. The change bore fruit. The team was refreshed with the young shooter Danny Ainge and veteran point guard Dennis Johnson, and played the best basketball in the NBA, finishing with a 62-20 record. After 3 years of coming in second, Larry Bird finally won the regular season MVP with 24.2 points, 10.1 rebounds, and 6.6 assists on average. The Celtics steamrolled to the finals, where a known foe awaited. It was, of course, Magic and the Lakers. The title was decided in Game 7, where Larry Bird led the Celtics to their 15th NBA title. Bird was named the Finals MVP, and he finally had his revenge over Magic, who defeated him in the NCAA Finals of 1979. The following season, the Celtics were even better in the regular season. Bird repeated as MVP, and McHale repeated as the 6th man of the year. They got to the finals again, with the same opponent. After the Celtics
Damn,
won
that man
Game
don't know Kareem?
1, 148-114, in a game that was dubbed the Memorial Day Massacre, it seemed like the Celtics were going to dominate the Lakers and repeat as champions. However, the Lakers had other plans, and especially Kareem was determined to defeat the Celtics. Kareem averaged 25.7
I ain't gonna lie, it's like kind of weird, cause it's like whenever Larry Bird played Jordan, he played stupid, and like whenever Magic played Bird, he played dumb. It's like, I don't know, man. Like,
points, 9 rebounds, and 5.2 assists in 6 games
Damn.
on 60% shooting. And the Lakers have finally won the NBA Finals against the Celtics for the first time in 9 tries. 1986, the greatest Celtics team ever and the pinnacle of Bird's career. After the finals loss, Auerbach made another clever move. He traded Cedric Maxwell to the Clippers for Bill Walton, once one of the most talented centers in the league, who accepted the role of a 6th man on the Celtics, while Kevin McHale moved to the starting lineup. The Celtics won 50 out of 51 home games that year, which is a record that still stands.
Hey, bro was nasty too, though. Him, Bird, and Parrish, but that was a nasty trio. But I ain't gonna lie.
And likely will never be broken. Larry Bird experienced the absolute peak of his game and basketball brilliance in 85-86. He deservedly won another MVP and became the only player other than Wilt and Bill Russell to win the award in 3 straight seasons. The 85-86 season birthed several games that proved the endless basketball genius of Larry Bird, and most notable is the left-handed game. Before the game against Portland, Bird surprised his teammates and journalists by saying that he would shoot the whole game with his left hand because he wanted to motivate himself.
No, that's crazy. I heard about this. He said, I'm not even finna use my right hand. I'm just gonna play with my straight left hand. And y'all, this is the NBA, the best of the best. So you telling people that I'm only gonna use one hand and then still drop buckets after that? Nah, this nigga was crazy, boy. That's, imagine that. I'm only finna use my left hand in the NBA. He making grown man out here look silly, bro. These other NBA legends, bro. It's crazy.
For a relatively meaningless regular season game. How much did he score? Just 47 points, 14 rebounds, 11 assists with a game-winning shot, and 22 points scored with his left hand out of sheer boredom and fun. And those are the reasons why he was called Larry Legend. Apart from that, he also scored a career-high...
That's really why he a legend, though. Not only his play on the field, not only his play on the court, but the way he back it up and like the way he say what he gonna do. I'm only gonna use left hand the whole game and drop 50. I'm gonna go off the screen. I'm gonna pull up, shoot in your face. Ain't nothing you could do about it. And he do that. Like, that would make him a legend, bro. Not only play, but the way he back it up, bro. And his trash talk too. He one of the best trash talkers of all time too. Man.
60 points on the
Larry
Atlanta
won the one
Hawks
for sure.
earlier in the season. Almost everything he put up toward the basket went in, and he got into such a zone that the Hawks
my
bench
God.
jumped off their chairs and cheered, after which they received hefty penalties from the Hawks coach, Mike Fratello. Throughout the game, the commentator noted that what he was watching was the biggest shooting exhibition in basketball history, and at the time, it truly was. The Celtics won 67 games in the regular season and lost just one game in the playoffs on their way to the finals. There, they would be greeted by the Twin Towers of Houston, Ralph Sampson, and Hakeem Olajuwon, who defeated the Lakers in the West Finals. But nobody could touch the Celtics that season, who were one of the most talented teams ever assembled. Bird was 2 rebounds and 3 assists shy of averaging a triple-double in the finals, and he deservedly won his second Finals MVP. Final years, injuries, and the Dream Team. In
Boy,
1980,
damn, boy, that trio right there, boy. hold
second
on.
Finals MVP. Final years,
That's crazy, cause all these is my top 3, boy. Top 3 right here, but that's imagine Magic, Jordan, and Bird on the same team. Not even Magic, Jordan, Bird. Just imagine MJ and Bird, bro. They gonna have about 10 rings, I swear to God. But these 3, they ain't losing, bro. They gonna 6-peat, 7-peat.
injuries, and the Dream Team.
But
In
nobody beating that
1987,
team,
the
boy.
Celtics had a very difficult season. Their number 2 pick, Len Bias, tragically passed away after the draft. And they suffered many injuries during the season and the playoffs. But Larry Bird was too good, and they still advanced to the finals after 2 7-game series against the Bucks and the Bad Boy Pistons, where Bird made one of the most legendary plays and stole the inbounds pass from Isaiah Thomas that won a crucial Game 5 for the Celtics. And in the finals again, it was the Lakers for the 3rd time in 4 years. Because LA was much more rested coming
I
to
ain't
the
gonna lie, the Lakers gave this team the most trouble, but I ain't gonna lie. Lakers, Magic, them gave Larry Bird the most trouble in his career, but I ain't gonna lie.
finals, the Celtics
boys
did
going
not
at
have
it.
enough gas in the tank to stop the fast-paced showtime. Bird delivered another 24-10.
Like Magic, bro, I ain't gonna lie. Magic, he like a 6'7" demigod, like on 2K to go to part with. That man, Magic really an all-around player too, though. Magic is too. Magic one of them ones, bro.
And 5 for the series. But it wasn't good enough, and Magic got the best of him once again.
Damn.
Next year, Bird had maybe one of the best statistical years of his career. He averaged 30 points on 50, 40, and 90
man
shooting,
was out here
a feat
hooping.
he achieved the previous year as well, proving that he's the best shooter who ever played at the time. The Celtics reached the conference finals, but it would be their last
That boy
hurrah
Isaiah
as the
Thomas.
Pistons finally got over the hump and managed to beat them. In the offseason, Bird sustained a severe back injury from chopping wood back home in Indiana. He was one of the best basketball players in the world who had millions of dollars.
Yeah,
He was
that's what I'm saying. Like, if anything, you could pay somebody to do that, Larry. But he said that's the work he like to do. So, but I'm saying if it was me, I would have definitely paid somebody to do it. But it is what it is, man.
the Hick from French Lick, who chopped his own wood when he needed to, and I respect him even more for that. The back injury and surgery on both Achilles tendons caused him to miss almost the entire 88-89 season. However, even debilitated, Bird was better than most players in the league, and despite needing to stretch for more than 2 hours to be able to run, he was still very productive. He was named an All-Star each of the last 3 seasons, along with some memorable performances, like a game in the 1991 playoffs where he suffered a concussion, but then pulled a Willis Reed and came back to the game, scored 17 points in the second half, and won the series for the Celtics.
That would make him a legend too, though. Playing through injuries, a lot of players ain't playing through injuries. I ain't gonna say no names, but a lot of players y'all think the GOAT ain't playing through injuries, bro. Especially the injuries Bird went through, and still dropping over 20 points with injuries.
Unfortunately, the toll on his body was getting too much to bear, and he ended his career in 1992, when he finally became teammates with his good friend Magic Johnson on the Dream Team. Bird flew off into the sunset with the gold in Barcelona, retiring as the best small forward and the best shooter to ever play. Legacy, trash-talking god, top 10 player ever. One of the most famous Larry Bird trash-talking stories is from the 1986 three-point shooting contest, when the legend walked into the locker room and asked all the other participants who's coming in second after him. Of course, he went on and swished near every three-pointer and
I
won.
remember that. I'm like, damn, like imagine all the shooters in the league, somebody just come and be like, who gonna come in second? Not even say, oh, we gonna have a good, just straight up, hey, I'm winning, who gonna come in second? And he backed it up, bro. Like, damn, bro.
All without taking his jacket
Crazy.
off. Bird would win the three-point shooting competition the next 2 years as well. And before Reggie Miller came along, there was no argument who's the best shooter ever. On the 26th of December, 1990, Indiana's Chuck the Rifleman Person said he's going bird hunting before the Celtics game. Bird replied that he'd got a Christmas present for him. And while Chuck was on the bench, Bird got the ball in the corner just in front of the Pacers bench. He hit the jump shot, turned to Chuck, and said, "Merry effing Christmas." That's who Larry Bird was.
Yeah,
And how
boy,
tough.
talk that trash,
He was
boy.
the ultimate competitor, and he had all the skills in the world to back it up. He'd tell players where he would get the ball, what he was going to do, and then do it. And there was nothing they could do to stop him. He accused the opposing team of putting a white guy to guard him because he felt that was disrespectful.
Yeah, he'd be like, I'm telling you, he might be white on the outside, but he a brother in the inside, boy. You talking about you putting a white boy on me? That disrespectful. Get that white boy off me. But it's crazy because he the same color as them, but he just proved that ain't no white boy could guard him. But get him off me. He needs some brothers, man.
And if you watch Space Jam, you know that Larry isn't white. He's clear. Bird would drink half the bar under the table. Sometimes he'd fight people in the bar as well, and then go to the game the next day and dominate, as if nothing happened. Bird was a unique player, and there was nobody like him. At first glance,
talented,
his moves
man.
look almost clumsy, far from physically dominant or athletic. He rarely dunked.
Hey.
His vertical was average at best, and he never played exceptionally fast. From the neck down, in basketball terms, he was nothing special. From the neck up until the end of his fingertips, he was pure genius. There's no doubt that he would be a great player in today's era, where we
Yo,
can see players
absolutely.
like Doncic and
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he compared to, like, Luka. And, like, that's his player build, Luka, bro. Like, he remind me a lot like Luka, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Jokic dominate the game without great physical talent. Bird was one of the top 10 players who ever played, and one of the best pure shooters ever. He was the best player in the NBA for almost an entire decade, despite the brilliance from Magic and the athleticism of Michael Jordan. And like
Yeah, but Michael Jordan, the GOAT, you feel me, the greatest of all time, bro. But Larry definitely one of the ones, though. Larry definitely in the top 3, bro. I ain't gonna lie, I definitely put Larry behind Jordan, bro. Then I have Magic at number 3, yeah.
Magic Johnson said,
Yeah,
there will
Kobe.
never be another Larry Bird.
Yeah, he definitely ain't gonna be no other Larry Bird. Larry, he a legend for a reason. Larry the legend, man. One of the best shooters of all time, man. Definitely one of the ones, for sure. Ain't gonna be no other Larry. But yeah, that's the end of that video, man. You made this far. Make sure you subscribe, gang.